What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's review I'm going to be taking a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron Selects Soundwave Spy Patrol 3rd Unit. I wasn't actually even going to do a review on this particular set and was mainly going to keep it in box. However, I got quite a few comments on my most recent Earthrise Double Dealer review stating that some of the figures inside this box set actually do interact with Double Dealer, so I'll be showcasing that feature off in this review. For the packaging, we can see that we just have a really awesome image of the Autobot insignia, which appears to have been sprayed on. Some Cybertronian text, the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy logo. Here we've got the Soundwave Spy Patrol 3rd Unit, and also in multiple different languages. And then as we flip around to the back of the box, is simply just a basic brown box. So without further ado, let's open this up. So bringing in a small knife, I presume we just take it from the underside. So just slide that all open. And then let's see what awaits us inside. Wow, pretty nice actually. Really loving the colours on these. Particularly this one and this one. They look absolutely fantastic. And you can see for the packaging, we do have a cassette for the top of the box. And then inside here we've got a plastic clamshell. And then inside here we've got a really nicely coloured set of instructions. I really do like this aquamarine green and blue that they seem to be going with these new Earthrise instructions. Soundwave Spy Patrol 3rd Unit. So this comes with Decepticon Wing Thing, Decepticon Frenzy. I didn't actually know it came with Frenzy, so I'm thrilled that it did actually come with that. And then let's flip around to the back of the packaging. We've got Decepticon Scar and Decepticon Knock. So I believe it's these two characters here that actually interact with Double Dealer. And here we have the Soundwave Spy Patrol 3rd Unit opened up and out of their packagings and fully transformed up into their robot modes / bat modes. You can see here that we have Scar, Knock, Frenzy and Wing Thing. So I will be showcasing you them in their robot modes first, then I'll be transforming them up into the concept modes, and then I'll show you how you can incorporate the special Easter egg feature that we get with the Earthrise Double Dealer into both Knock and Scar. Now I'm going to start this review off with first of all saying that I am so glad that I opened these figures up. Upon opening them and transforming them, I was blown away by the level of detail that all of these figures do in fact have and how actually complex they were. The only cassette tape figures that I had got prior to these was the Ravage and Laserbeak, and whilst they were good figures, I found them to be rather basic in terms of their transformations and in their overall detailing. But I've got to say that these ones, I'm not sure whether it's because they're a Takara exclusive or not, but they're so detailed and so well painted. We'll first of all start off here with Knock. You can see here that in robot mode he is really nicely detailed. You've got all that silver paint application for the torso and the blue on the face, and I love the lighter shade of blue, which does in fact match the colour palette that we do have on Earthrise Double Dealer. So I'm not sure whether this was intentional. I presume it probably was, but that's such a lovely nod. And then you can see the head sculpt looks fantastic as well, and I was actually quite surprised with the level of articulation he has. So he does have a slight swivel at the head. It is rather stiff, but it can rotate. Ball jointed arms allowing for full 360 degree of motion. They can of course hinge out to the sides. We do get forwards and backwards here on these legs, as well as ball joints at the knees, and due to transformation they can in fact hinge outwards. Just giving you a quick 360 look at the figure. We do in fact have a post which can be deployed at the back, so you can peg this on to either Soundwave or to Double Dealer depending on your preference. Just folding that back up. And in terms of transformation for this figure, it's actually quite simplistic. So you just want to push the arms up, ratchet these sections downwards, and then repeat the same process here for this side. Fold the legs up and snap that into place, and repeat the same process here for this side. And here we have Knock fully transformed up into the cassette, and I've got to say this is one of my favourites. This just looks really splendid. The paint apps of the blue and the red look amazing, as well as the nice silver paint applications. A really nice looking cassette. And then we'll take a look here at Scar. This too is one of my favourites. All of that lovely sculpted in detailing just looks fantastic, and the head sculpt very menacing in its design. Definitely very reminiscent of a bat. And the yellow paint apps here for the torso, and the really nice silver and red for the eyes and for where the piston joints of the arms would be, or the wings. Flipping around to the back. Some nice details here. I was really surprised actually to see that the feet flipped down, considering how small they were. I wouldn't expect Hasbro or Takara to really engineer them to move, but they did, and that's great. But getting him transformed up, you just want to fold up the small feet. The head is on a double hinge joint, so you want to hinge it forwards and then recess it backwards. Just fold these pieces down, flip these up. And here we've got Scar fully transformed up into his cassette. And once again, looking amazing. The paint apps on these turned out amazingly. Really nice yellow paint apps. And the silver's been applied exceptionally well with no paint bleeds at all, which is quite surprising, to be honest, considering its size. But super nice. Here we've got Frenzy. You can see here that he's also been detailed really nicely. With, I'd say, about 2 different shades of blue, a lighter colour, and then a lot more darker for the main torso area. Some nice golden paint apps here for the torso. And then the legs, look at the detail and the paint apps on these legs. Really, really clean, fantastic. Articulation, the head is on a swivel. Ball joints at the knees, and then of course hinge joints out and forwards. And just a quick look at the back. Transformation is exactly the same to that of Knock. So just fold in the hands. And then rotate these around, peg those in. And here we've got Frenzy in his cassette mode. This one's a little bit more plain in terms of paint apps for the actual cassette itself. It's mainly just blue. But it still looks quite nice once again. Really cool looking cassette. And then finally here we get to Wing Thing. Probably my least favourite out of the set. I'm not a big fan of the head sculpt. I don't think that it looks too menacing. It almost looks like Pikachu or something from Pokemon. But some nice black paint apps for the torso as well as the Decepticon insignia. And some silver paints here for where the wing joints would be. So yeah, quite a nice looking figure. Transformation is exactly the same as what we got with Scar. So just fold up the feet. Use the double hinge to fold up the head. Fold these down. And then fold this up. And here we've got Wing Thing fully transformed up into his cassette tape. And you can see no paint bleeds on the black paint apps, nor on the silver and the darker grey. So really, really super cool. Bringing in Earthrise Double Dealer, just very quickly, we can see that we've got both Scar and Knock here ready for me to showcase their compatibility with Double Dealer. Now, in my review, I did state that I wasn't entirely sure as to the reasoning behind why this cuboid section could remove, and that's because it's actually an Easter egg to the old Power Master gimmick that the original toy had. So just to demonstrate this, you just want to remove this section, and you can see that it pulls off really easily. And then we can just take Knock here and find the port, flip this out, and you can see that there is a hole in the actual piece that comes from Double Dealer. You just want to peg this on, and here we've got that piece from Double Dealer implemented here on Knock. I didn't necessarily grow up with the original G1 toy series, so I can't be sure as to the accuracy of this, but I do believe that this is actually meant to be an Easter egg from that original toy. So for collectors of the original G1 toy line, I'm sure you'll absolutely love this nod to the past, and it is quite a cool feature. You unfortunately can't put the cassette tapes in the actual chest section of Double Dealer with this piece attached, so just removing this here, bringing Double Dealer in. You can see that once again, I think that they did a great job of matching up the paint with the plastic of Double Dealer, and just folding this in. He can store within the chest. And you can of course fold it up. He can only hold one cassette tape at one time, unfortunately. And then just bringing in Scar and folding out this piece just so that you can see what it looks like on this figure. And aligning up the circular hole, rotating this around. Here we've got the section that we got with Double Dealer implemented on Scar. I think that that's quite cool as well. So that was my review on the Takara Tomy Selects Soundwave Spy Patrol Unit 3. Personally, I actually really do enjoy this set. Whilst I may not be familiar with the whole Power Masters gimmick with Double Dealer and Knock and Scar, I can definitely appreciate an Easter egg when I see one, and that is a really nice Easter egg. I do also like the individual cassette tapes themselves, as stated. I love Scar, Knock and Frenzy. Wing Thing, I think, is a little less desirable, however, that's just my personal opinion. I'm not a massive fan of his head sculptors, as I stated. It does look like something from Pokemon, and I'm not really too much of a fan of the orange, but you can see that the cassettes, of course, can store within both Soundwave's chest and now I guess Double Dealer's chest. So as a set, I really do enjoy this, and I'm so glad that I opened this up, as originally, as stated, I was literally just going to keep it in the packaging. So I really hope that you enjoyed this review. In terms of availability, I'm not sure whether or not Hasbro and Takara are giving this particular set a mass release. Seeing as this is a select set, it is rather difficult to actually find, and I do imagine you'll probably have to import it. But if you are able to get your hands on this, then I definitely recommend picking it up, as you will obviously be a step closer to completing all of the cassette bots, and I just think that they're really detailed and quite enjoyable to mess around with. Thanks for watching.